Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ray. I am a detransition male, and today I'm going to be talking about what it means if you're deeply envious of trans women. Like, if you're a man and you identify as just a regular, quote unquote cisgender straight guy, but you're deeply envious of trans women, what does that mean? Okay, so let me read this thread here. Why do I envy trans women as a cis man? I know it sounds stupid, but basically, whenever I watch a video of a trans woman or read transgender memes, I kind of envy their lives. It doesn't really make sense, and it happens frequently, but not often. I am confused by this because I am definitely cis. I was trans until like a year ago, but since then, I've not felt that I need to have boobs. The satisfaction of somebody calling me a girl or the dysphoria of looking at myself and seeing a guy. Heck, I don't even envy cis women anymore. I wonder if that is because I kind of just envy how their lives turned out. I mean, they did not think that they were women and it ended up being wrong, and they just seem so happy. And like, I even envy them when they say how they figured out they were trans in the first place, their struggles, their dysphoria, their euphoria, the first time they went shopping. All of that are things that I kind of fucked up when I thought I was trans, but I don't know why I'm envying them when I clearly know that I am cis. Like, I am watching a video where they talked about discovering their gender and denial and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, I wish that was me. And no, it's not like I think I am cis because I'm not feminine enough or something like that. I mean, I literally only want to have feminine features like once or twice a month. And most of the time, I do not care about my gender. And the only thing I'm really doing with my gender is telling myself I am cis over and over again. And if you made it to the end, thanks for hearing me out. I know that I am once again just exploiting helpful people for free therapy. Okay. So, top comments. So despite doing your best to consciously repress, you're dealing with some significant dysphoria, at least once a month. Once a month, guys. Um, Cis people generally don't need to reassure themselves that they're cis. Okay, so this is why I want to talk about this, is because I don't think this language of are you cis or are you not cis is very helpful. And this is why I think understanding the theory of autogynephilia is very important for understanding what's going on in these cases. So this guy, he says he only has um actual desire for feminine features like once or twice a month. So he's not crippled by dysphoria. He's not overly driven by euphoria, and he doesn't envy cis women either, which means that he doesn't have a strong desire for um, female anatomy. Basically, like he doesn't want to have a vagina, which presumably he doesn't hate his penis either. Yet he's deeply envious of trans women. So when we're thinking about autogynephilia, we're often talking about the envy desire phenomenon, such that one of the clearest definitions of what it means phenomenologically to experience what it means to have autogynephilia is that you are attracted to women, but you're envious of women. And the sort of classical case is that this envy attraction thing is about, natal female. So you're attracted to females, but you're also envious of females because, they have the body that you want. And because of that, they get to do the things that you are deeply envious of. However, there's also another form of autogynephilia called partial autogynephilia, such that you only want to sort of like half embody the female form, and such that you typically, in these partial forms, you want to keep your penis. So you sort of your ideal body type becomes the she-male, basically. The tits and the dick type look, or the femboy type look, or whatever. Um, and often this comes from something called, or theoretically, the like reason for this phenomenon of like wanting to be deeply envious of the female body is because or being envious of trans women, it's because of something called um, autogyneandromorphophilia. So gynoandromorphophilia is a paraphilic attraction to trans women. In other words, you have a kink for trans women. If your favorite genre of pornography is transgender pornography, if you just keep returning to transgender porn like over and over and over, then you have a kink for trans women. This is very common. And the research, the empirical data shows that if you have a kink for trans women, such that your favorite genre of pornography is shemales, then often this is correlated. There's a strong correlation between having that kink for trans women and also being AGP insofar as you score high on the core autogynephilia scale, which is like you want to embody um, or you get turned on by the idea of feminizing yourself in some way or another, or you experience arousal in regards to the thought about, you know, embodying femininity to some degree or another. But in the case of the autogyneandromophiliacs, the, the phenomenon is such that the thing you envy the most is trans women. Like the trans woman has the ideal body. So you're most deeply envious of trans women because you are attracted, you have a kink for trans women, but you also want to be a trans woman. So this explains why this person can, have these confusing thoughts such that they're not envious of natal females, but they're envious of trans women. Why? Because they have partial autogynephilia or AGAMP or autogyneandromorphophilia, which is a subcategory of the broader phenomenon of autogynephilia. Because often it's assumed that autogynephilia means that your strongest object of attraction is natal females. But I think it's actually more common to be this partial type. And this explains why the vast majority of trans women these days do not have severe bottoms dysphoria, such that they're seeking out, you know, uh, to get the vaginoplasty surgeries or whatever. So they often are super content. They're most attracted to the female body, and they want to, and like that's their ideal embodiment goal. So this explains why you can be envious of trans women, but not envious of natal females. And I think if we understood this more, then people would understand themselves. But the problem with the way these Reddit communities understand it is that they're in denial of the theory of autogynephilia, and all they're able to tell this person is, "Oh, you're not cis or whatever," or it's just like, or you're cis or you're trans, and it's like there's no differentiation between different types of transgender women. There's no differentiation or understanding theoretically of these different types of embodiment goals, the different types of dysphoria. We don't understand mechanically, theoretically, like why some women are so deeply repulsed by their male genitals, whereas some other trans women, have no problem with it whatsoever. This is why the theory of autogynephilia is useful theoretically, because it has explanatory power. It allows us to make sense of the phenomenon, the broader diversity within the trans feminine population. And in my opinion, and I've heard many other people say this as well, the rise of the partial autogynephiliacs as being the predominant cohort within the trans feminine community. I believe this is due to the exposure to she-male pornography. I think the there is a underlying innate predisposing factor of autogynephilia as an internalized attraction. You basically have a mechanism in your brain such that you're predisposed to inverting your sexuality to some degree or another. There's this sexual inversion mechanism. No one really understands how this works. There's various theoretical models and like explanations, but somehow your heterosexual attraction becomes inverted. But we have to understand that when we're talking about heterosexuality, you can be a heterosexual man attracted to women, attracted to femininity, but you have this kink for trans women. Even though trans women are male, you can be a regular straight guy who has a kink for trans women. You can be a straight guy who would never ever have sex with a masculine man. Never ever. Not like masculinity is the total turnoff, facial hair, beards, masculine muscles, like, the like masculine form, total turnoff. But trans women, the she-male, is deeply turned on, but they consider themselves otherwise straight. And the phallometric data supports this, such that, these men who have these straight men who have kinks for trans women, when you hook their penises up to a measuring device and you show them, men versus women versus trans women, they don't have any arousal to men, but they have arousal to women and trans women. So this shows that this kink for trans women is compatible with being a straight guy, but it is a kink. That's what it is. It's a paraphilia, and so this paraphilia gets inverted. Um, and yeah, like I think so. You have this predisposing internalized factor of attraction, and then you get exposed to the female pornography, and that sort of like plants this imprint on your mind essentially such that like I don't know how it works, but that becomes like your embodiment goals or whatever. You sort of like latch onto that. So you're like, yes, I'm super attracted to that. And then because that's what you're attracted to, because you have the inversion of your attraction mechanism in your brain, your attraction to she-males gets inverted such that you want to be the she-male yourself. Envy, desire. That's how it works. So, okay, I just wanted to shed light on this topic because often I don't think it's fully appreciated the nuances of the theory of autogynephilia. It's just sort of um, like assume that it's love of oneself as a woman. But we have to be clear about what type of woman do we love ourselves as? Do we love ourselves as a natal female or do we love ourselves as a she-male? So it's important to understand this. If you don't understand this, you will not understand trans women, especially the modern cohort of trans women. So, okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.